Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra,
We're ladies.
and we tangent.
What's up, everyone? Hello.
Do you want to hear something that's going to make you upset? No, it's not, but it made me upset.
Okay.
It just was a shock to my system, and Corey's mom was the one who kind of made me realize it. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Statement. I have been a mom for the same amount of time that I was ever in school.
Oh, wild.
13 years from K through 12.
That's wild.
Is that not
Well,
sickening?
did you go to preschool?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, then tell her to shut up. She's wrong. She's wrong.
She didn't actually say that part. She said that she's been a nurse for as long as she was in school, but she's also wrong because she said 13 years. But I guess I was only in preschool for about maybe a year before.
Well, you got one more year. Hold off on that little emotion that you were
Isn't
carrying
that
with you.
crazy though to
Yes,
think
that's
about?
crazy.
I was like, because this part of my life seems like it's going so fast, and that part of my life seemed like it was dragging on.
Yes.
Crazy.
I don't know, all of life seems to be a
Dragging? Does it? Well, guess what?
Hmm.
Speaking of things that are a drag, let's talk about my colonoscopy.
Let's talk about it.
So you want to talk about things that suck? Do colonoscopy prep one time and you'll see Jesus.
I told you I thought I was like sympathy pooping for you yesterday because I was pooping so much.
I'm not kidding. I probably shit 30 times. 30 times. By the way, I have this on my paper from my colonoscopy. She said, excellent prep. I said, period, bitch. Especially because the second bottle that I had to, so here's what you have to do. They make you take 2 bottles of this stuff. It's disgusting. And you just have to chug it. Definitely mix it with something. I didn't the second round and I vomited it up almost immediately.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty not strong stomach, but I can hold couldn't hold it. So anyways, the second bottle was gone. And I read online that a lot of people are like, call and get another bottle. Or you can take Miralax or Dulcolax or stuff.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I just crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. And honestly, it worked. So guess what?
Yeah.
I'll never take that second bottle ever again.
Yeah.
But basically what it does is it is a some kind of magnesium glycinate something.
Okay.
Anyways, all of the liquid that you're drinking, water, pulls it all into your bowels. And then it just like, it's like a water slide out your butt, essentially.
Okay.
So you were just like shitting water. Like forcefully pooping, peeing. Okay.
Oh my God. Like that one time I was in the toilet and you were like, did you just turn the faucet on? And I was like, that's my ass.
It's exactly like that.
Okay.
It's horrific. And everybody was like, the prep's the worst part. And I think they said that to make you feel better. That's still bad. Because the prep was the longest part of it.
Yeah.
And it took forever. I didn't sleep at all.
How long do you have to prep for? Just like the day before?
The day before, but it goes all night. And so you're also not allowed to eat any solids. No
Right.
solids. You can have chicken broth and Jell-O, but the Jell-O, you can't have any good flavors.
Right.
No red dyes.
Right.
Sucky.
Right.
So the Jell-O was disgusting. I puked that up too. I was going through it.
Yeah.
But, so I go,
Pun intended.
so I go and I'm nervous because I don't like anesthesia and they're hooking me up and I'm weak. They're like, we had to use pediatric needle on you once again, because it's the
Yes,
smallest needle. They couldn't find a vein. I have tiny baby veins anyways, but when I'm dehydrated, I was like, I can't help it. I've been shitting water out of my body. And
Right.
the day you
guys
wake up,
asked me to do this.
yeah, literally the day you wake up, you can't even drink anything. No water, nothing.
Well, I also didn't know that they put you under for a colonoscopy.
Yes.
I think I thought it was like an enema.
No.
And so I thought you were up.
Jerry,
I thought
the
they
scope
just
went
like
all the way to my small, like through to my large intestine.
in my
the
mind,
whole thing.
in my mind, you were just getting like water shoved up your ass, and then
No.
they were gonna like
Take a peek.
take a peek.
Nope. It was full scope, went all the way through. I have pictures of the whole thing.
You do?
I do.
Did they figure out about your appendix?
They said there's a site it went to the appendiceal something attachment, but the appendix cannot be seen. So I don't know. I still don't know. However, what is funny is that they give you something called propanol.
Okay.
It puts you to sleep immediately. I was like, bet.
Yeah.
because to me, I want to beat it. I would be
Yes.
like, yeah, let me see if I can stay up.
Yep.
She goes, I'm going to put in this stuff in your vein. We're going to count down to 10. Didn't even hear the rest of it. I was gone. I didn't even hear 10.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. And then the next thing I know, so I'm dreaming vividly.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but apparently if that's more like general anesthesia. If you're under like real anesthesia, you don't dream.
Right.
But this is just like not, you're not like under. You're still breathing on your own. They didn't have to like intubate me or anything. I'm just basically taking a nap.
Yeah.
But fucking nice nap,
Yeah.
dude. So I am dreaming and then they wake me up and I'm like, what?
Where am I?
So I kept saying to Corey, I was really confused when I woke up. I didn't remember where I was or what had happened.
Yeah.
And the doctor comes in right after that. Corey's back there with me. So I'm like, why are you here? How are you here? Where am I?
Right.
Why am I? My butt's out.
He's like, it's me. I'm your doctor. I did your colonoscopy.
Like, what? This whole time? I didn't know. So she comes in and she tells me what's up.
We're on our honeymoon. We're playing doctor.
I wish. She was like, I had to take some biopsies and da-da-da. We're going to schedule within a week and we're going to talk about results and stuff like that. And then she leaves and I go, did the doctor come and talk to us? And he explains what she said. And I was like, okay. They bring me over some apple juice. And I was like, I don't even fuck with apple juice. I don't even fuck with apple juice like that. This is so good. This one, I'm so hungry and thirsty, and I'm just groggy as fuck. Yeah. And then I'm sipping my apple juice. Corey said, I look up and I go, did the doctor come in and talk to us yet?
He's like, you already asked me that.
I asked 2 more times. Anyway, so that's all.
You know what's crazy is like, I come out of anesthesia like nothing happened. Like I was never under it.
What?
Yeah,
I was so groggy.
Yes.
I kept asking. He did tell me that. I kept asking. I was like, can I sleep a little longer? Can I go under a little bit more? I was like, no. They were like, Sierra, you have to get up. And I was like, just 5 more minutes. Put me under a little bit longer.
I don't want to go to school, Mom.
I ended up going home and sleeping for 4 more hours.
Well, you probably were tired.
I was exhausted. My sister said she was under that same thing when she got her wisdom teeth out. Mm-hmm. She doesn't even remember going home. She went home and slept for 18 more hours.
Jesus Christ.
And my mom came over and was like, we thought you died. I've been calling you for a day. So I don't know. Maybe we just have a weird reaction.
It's built different.
Some people pop up and they feel great afterwards. Not me.
They have to like double dose me because I'm like, I think I'll do the procedure myself. Thanks.
I would just give me the scope. I know my way around these
Nobody
parts.
knows me like I know me. So
yeah. So it wasn't, all in all, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do it again, but I will have to. That's what the paper says.
Great.
She says I recommend frequent.
Frequent?
I think she said, it might have said yearly or bi-yearly. So.
What?
Yeah.
Is bi-yearly twice a year?
Maybe
There's no way you're getting
every other year, maybe is what it said.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Not good for me, but now I know I never have to drink that second prep. My shit got cleaned out.
That's true. The first one did the job.
Excellent prep work. You're welcome.
I want to tell you that I watched almost all of Nick Vial's, like the Vial Files reunion for Temptation Island.
How was that?
It didn't need to be 2.5 hours long, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's something I'm going to listen to on 1.75 speed, I think.
Yeah, I feel the same about Ashley and Grant.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same about Lino and Alexa, and I'm sorry, Alexa, I called you Alexis.
Oh, whoops.
But I feel differently about Taylor and Tyler.
Really?
Yeah. Taylor said something that immediately turned me off a little bit.
Interesting.
So she said during the episode, and this is no shade to her with this preference, but they asked about the bitch tendencies.
Yeah.
And she's like, they're like, explain bitch tendencies. And she's like, I am a Southern girl at heart, and I just prefer when a man is in his masculine energy and is like the provider and takes care of and like is that person. And I'm like, whoa, I can't back you on bitch tendencies
No,
if you're like
no, not
trying
like
to
that.
do stereotypical gender roles.
No, I don't like that.
The other thing,
Because you're calling them, you're saying what makes it a bitch is feminine stuff.
Yes.
Fuck you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So like,
kidding.
I was like, and then so Tyler, again, I'm gonna say I viewed Tyler through my own trauma.
Well, that's what we both said. And
Yes.
I felt like we said that well.
Yes.
And obviously people listening didn't hear that.
Yeah. Only a couple. The majority of people, I think, got it. But
the couple that did were the loudest.
Yeah.
I will say that both of us, we were reacting last week because we were, again, having feelings because these men reminded us of men who had done similar things to us in our lives in this way. And it was like almost re-traumatizing.
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
So Tyler, I found out that he and his wife separated because, from his words, his wife wanted to explore
women.
Yay! Yay!
I see her now on TikTok, by the way.
She's still with the woman that she was exploring with when her and Tyler split up.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
They all look the same, by the way. Her,
Yes.
Kay, Taylor, all very similar looking.
All the same, except Taylor dyed her hair brown now.
Yeah,
but yes.
she's like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Editing Jerry here wanted to pop in and say, I saw Tyler's ex-wife's TikTok where she was like, kind of weird that he felt the need to discuss my personal business on a podcast, which leads me to believe that he did not get her consent to share that information, which is yucky. But also, she added some context to that story and shared that she had found out Tyler was also cheating. So, just wanted to round out that bit of the story for you. That to me says bitch tendencies, but who am I?
Also, I would like to say real quick, because I cheered loudly when you said left or decided that she wanted to be with a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that means that, like, I'm not cheering for her leaving him. I'm cheering for anybody, man or woman, who understands that they're not with the person they're sexually attracted to.
Right. And also,
period. That's good for both people.
I will give him props in this situation because the way he explained it, and again, these are his words, so I don't know if this is how it actually went down, but the way he explained it is that she came to him because they both got married young.
Mm-hmm.
And she explained to him that she feels like she never got to explore this side of herself and she feels like she needs to. And he says, do that in the safety of our marriage. Like, I want you to figure that out. Go ahead. And it wasn't until he believed there was an emotional connection.
Interesting.
Between the two of them that he was like, I don't feel comfortable with this anymore.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know who ended what or how or if there was more to that story, but that's the story he told.
Interesting.
And then, so Taylor said one other thing where, so they were bringing up Kay and she says something about, I wish I remember the exact wording, but she was like, I didn't think he would throw it all away for an OnlyFans model or something like that.
See, I told you she gave me kind of ick factors in the beginning because she was very much like, I see myself as I'm in competition with all these girls, and I don't like that.
And the way that it was presented was
baby,
like
you can lift yourself up without tearing other women down.
Right. It just made it seem like the profession that Kay chose made her less than.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it had nothing to do with who Kay was as a person or like what you know what I mean? It was
the respect that she had in that scenario.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
So that I was like, I don't like that. And then
how she was when she was talking about girls with fake hair. I was like, so what?
Yes.
She was just clocking them all like her hair's fake. Who gives a shit?
Yes.
I would say over half of the women that we know have fake hair or will have or have had.
Guilty.
Like, who gives a shit at this point?
So Tyler said he knew nothing was going to progress with Kay because at the last date, Kay told him that she does OnlyFans.
Interesting.
And he was like, I know myself. I'm a jealous person. That's not going to work out for me. And he goes, but that wasn't aired. That was off camera. And so if I go to the final bonfire and I don't leave with Kay after this whole experience looks like Kay and I are going to end up together,
right?
I would rather leave with her and then just kind of split ways afterwards so I could keep her anonymity in a way. So Kay commented on this and was like, oh, the tea I could spill. So I don't know how she feels about that statement.
Interesting.
But that's what was said. And so like, that's why I'm like, I don't know what I heard from Taylor and Tyler explaining why they went on the show in the first place. It was, they both wanted to be famous.
Really?
They both wanted to be in entertainment.
Yeah.
And this was just an opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was very weird to hear them talk about it, and I give props to Nick Viall in this moment because Taylor was kind of saying like we were on again, off again. It was like not super serious. We were going to break up right before we got on the show, and then like I kind of expected this to happen, and he goes, well, if you expected it to happen, why did you seem so upset?
Exactly.
Why did you say it was your worst nightmare?
Yeah.
If you expected it to happen. He's like, I'm not understanding how both of those, which one is more true.
Yeah.
And so after hearing that both of them just wanted to be in the entertainment industry, I'm like, okay, was this something for you guys, or was this?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Lino and Alexa, still unproblematic.
They are getting married, correct?
Yes. And
by the way, spoilers. Shit. Sorry,
Yeah.
everybody, if you didn't know that spoilers were coming.
Yeah.
But that is part, I didn't say that. I think I told you about it though, but me and Corey did cry. Honestly, that was a wholesome moment from the show where I was like, God damn it, that got me good.
Yeah,
that
was
got
really
me good.
Sweet. It happened at like 4 or 5 in the morning, she said.
I believe that because
after like such a long night
of like, yeah.
And I give props to Lino because they brought up the whole like people online are saying that if someone was interested, and he was like, I made it very clear in the beginning that I wasn't. And he goes, but I also understand this is a TV show. And he goes, so I used comedic relief to get myself through things. He's like, I made it very clear that I wasn't going to cross any boundaries.
Yeah.
And so nobody was pursuing anything out of respect for Alexa and I. And so anything you saw was just banter because we knew we were on a show.
Yeah,
and I was like,
all right,
I respect it.
Yeah. For true.
For true.
Did I ever tell you my theory that I have?
Mm-mm.
I don't know if this has been a thing or if it's an NDA or whatever, but I wonder if they pay people or they promise
to be
them
on
more,
the show,
not even to be on, because I know they do.
Yeah.
But I was watching one of the Temptation girls that was talking about how much they get paid as part of the NDA, so she can't say. And I wonder if they get like bonuses if they make like if they create those moments, or if they like make them crack and cheat.
Yeah.
If they'll get like a bonus from that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they'll definitely get more airtime.
That's what that for sure.
Well, I wonder if the pay is tied to airtime.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, could be. Because it seemed like, especially with the Breon situation, that they were really gunning just to like crack him. And I was like, honestly, for what?
Well, and also, I don't feel like you have to try that hard.
No, not at all.
Did you see? And this, Shantae and Breon weren't at the reunion.
Yeah.
And it was said that they wanted to be, but they had other work commitments and they just couldn't be. It wasn't that they were avoiding.
Sure.
But I guess they did get on with Mark Wahlberg, the host.
Who, by the way, someone in our comments was like, I guess you don't know his past. And it's like, someone else was like, that's a different Mark Wahlberg.
Mark
very
Wahlberg.
different Mark Wahlberg.
It's a different guy.
It is not who you think of when you hear Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows that. Please Google him if you're confused and haven't seen the show. Very different guy.
Very different. But she was saying that she didn't hear that he was having sex in the bathroom.
Who did?
The threesome. Shantae. She's like, I didn't hear the rhythmic wet slapping. She's like, I don't think that was played. And Mark's like, yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah. What do you fucking mean?
Dude, yeah.
Not to mention,
she's like, it
the
was hard to
girls,
watch
you
back.
could see their ass. You saw them naked.
Yeah.
Like I remember watching it back and I was like, oh, her whole butt's out.
Yep.
You could tell that there are 2 naked girls in there.
Yep. She was like, I don't remember that happening.
But I think she did black that out. That's
me
very
too.
sad.
She
I
was
think
like,
that there was a part of her that dissociated during that.
She thinks, and she claimed that what was shown in the edit was not what was shown to her at the fire. And Mark's like, that's not true. And he goes, I'll double check for you. He's like, but I will say you're not the first person in the history of this show to say that.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's basically my update of what I've learned.
I haven't
finished the episode. It's it's just really long. And Grant talks so much. One of the comments was so funny. It was like, Grant could talk for an hour and say nothing.
Period.
Nothing at all. But yeah, he was, the vibe I got from him is that he was just mostly butthurt. Like his ego was hurt because Ashley was posting with Danny.
Posting? Like recently?
Yes. Because he's like, it made me feel like you didn't care. And she's like, well, we're not together. So
You cheated on me on national television.
Well, they got back together after that.
I knew that.
They got back together.
Did you watch the live where he screamed at her?
Yes.
Oh, horrific.
Yes.
Horrific.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, that tells me all I need to know right there. But
yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I've been Ashley. I've been Shantae.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've been Taylor, but I've definitely been Ashley and Shantae.
Yeah.
So I have a little bit of a soft spot, but I also, they're better off without them.
Yeah.
Shantae, if you're listening, babe, please
run. I saw the comments on a video. Did I send it to you?
Baby.
There was comments under the video of Breon. Someone was revealing something about Breon, and people were like, God damn, let her get cheated on in peace. Let her live.
It is true though.
But yeah, I just wanted to update because I know that I know we went hard last week, and I will hold my hands up and I will say when I'm wrong, because that's the thing is when you get more information,
Yeah, you can admit that
you can evolve and you can change your mind, and that's what I did about
I stand behind
people.
what I said about who I said them about. I think I went the hardest on Grant and Breon,
Yes.
and I stand behind what I said
Yes.
about them. And people were like, so you hate all men? Let me just be very clear. I don't feel like when I'm talking about shitty men doing shitty things that remind me of the shitty men that did shitty things to me that I should have to say it's not all men.
Yeah.
But if you need me to say that, I guess I will.
Yeah.
But Jerry and I have made it very clear. We talk very highly about men in our lives, our dads, our partners, our children.
Yep.
So like, I thought that it went without saying, but in case you need it,
Yeah.
it's not all men, but all of us, every one of us collectively.
No one of these guys.
You know what I thought was hilarious is that the people who were writing in our comments and whatever, again, a very small amount, but it was no men.
Yeah.
The men that listen to our show get it.
Yeah.
Because they know we're not talking about them.
Right.
But it was I was like, why are you writing so hard for these men who don't respect women?
Right.
Because that's what we're upset about.
Right.
The thing that we're the most upset about is their lack of respect for not only their women in general, but their partners who they're supposed to ride for.
That's why I also wanted to bring up the things that I didn't love that Taylor was saying, because
100%.
I also want to hold women accountable for not respecting women.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
for misrepresenting situations, because she made it seem like Tyler was living with her full time and he wasn't.
Yeah.
So he would be with her, and then he was also staying with his sister. So like he didn't have, according to her, his own house,
But it wasn't like full time.
and they weren't together
Supporting.
the entire time. Like they were
Got
on
it.
and off, and
Yeah.
like she has reasons for that. So it's a very he said she said situation. But then I'll take accountability for not having all of the information and having a reaction. But now that I have more info, I wanted to relay that I have changed my mind, and I wanted to pass it along to people who don't feel like watching that
2-hour long
reunion.
Yeah, I don't think
Quote,
I'll
unquote.
need to.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I'm good. So yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope. I don't
I
think so.
hiccup burp. Sorry. My digestive system is still really weird. What you
I'm
need to know
sure.
when you clear it all out and then you start up again, it is strange behavior.
Yeah.
My stomach's been weird. I've been getting weird pains. But honestly, every once in a while, I might just do a clear out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like good things happen.
I'm sure.
I don't know. I feel better that I have in a minute.
Not carrying shit around with you.
I know. Anyways, you guys, today what we're going to talk to you about is the history of April Fools. April Fools! April Fools! Happy April Fools to everybody.
April Fools, I hate Tyler. He's got bitch tendencies. I'm kidding.
April Fools, we hate all men.
Kidding.
Just kidding.
Where are we?
I don't know. You'll never know. But I have a little bit of history, but I also have what I think was really fun is some of the best April Fools
Pranks?
Pranks.
Oh, I love
that
it.
people- yeah.
I used to love an April Fool's joke.
I know. Well, it's really fun.
I love tying the rubber bands around the squirter for the faucet.
Oh, the toilet paper or the saran wrap on the toilet seat.
I was going to bring that up because I thought about that. Who in their right fucking mind would? That's a mess.
That's disgusting.
You better not be doing it at your own house.
No,
Do that at somebody
you
else's house.
Have to. I think I did that with a man that I was seeing at his house and then left.
Just his piss bounces back up at him.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
was fun.
I was just drunk one time and didn't lift the seat up and peed on it.
Been there. That's for sure.
I was in a public restroom, so sorry to that place in Seattle.
Oh no. Well, let me tell you something. April Fool's Day is kind of difficult to figure out where it comes from because honestly, this tradition goes back really, really, really far.
It does?
Like 1500s far.
What?
Yes. So, April Fool's Day occurs on April 1st of each year. It has been celebrated for centuries by different cultures. Its exact origins remain a mystery, and also so many cultures celebrate it. It's one of the ones that's celebrated like
the most,
which is so crazy to me.
Every time that there's something that like has happened over the entire world and multiple people in different cultures like have a version of it, like pyramids, I'm immediately go to aliens. And so to think that the alien holiday is April Fool's Day
honestly makes a lot of sense.
That's the day that they.
Did you hear about the pyramids?
What about them?
Oh, I can't believe you haven't heard this.
What about them?
They did like sonar.
That the majority of it is underground.
It's huge.
Yeah, like an iceberg.
It's so large underground, a giant square, and then there's like these big like pillars with walkways that are spiraling down them. And then it's just like big cavernous areas that are down there. What's down there?
I don't need to know.
It's huge.
I'll promise
it's
you that.
It's bigger down there than it is above, and it's huge above the surface.
Yeah.
Why?
Aliens.
And what? That's what I said.
April Fools, there's actually no sonar. They never did that. They made it up.
That would be such an elaborate April Fool's
I know.
thing.
I heard going to the moon was an April Fool's joke.
I heard that it was just a conspiracy theory.
Just imagine, instead of a conspiracy theory, we just make it. George Bush did 9/11, April Fools.
Oh, no. No.
The Titanic was an inside job, April Fools.
April Fools. Sillies. Let me tell you about the origin.
Wait, time out. I want you right now, if you have a favorite conspiracy theory, put it in the comments and then put April Fools.
That's please.
I just want to see.
If you don't know, if you live under a rock and you have no idea what April Fool's is, it's a tradition. These traditions include playing hoaxes or practical jokes on others, often yelling April Fools at the end to clue in the subject of the April Fool's Day prank in case they don't know, so they don't think you're a huge dick. While its exact history is shrouded in mystery. The embrace of April Fool's Day jokes by the media and major brands has ensured the unofficial holiday's long life. So here's where we speculate where it could come from, okay? Dates back to 1582. All right, we're in France.
Okay.
Bonjour.
Oh, oui.
France switches from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Okay? And in the Julian calendar, as in the Hindu calendar, the new year begins with the spring equinox around April 1st.
Yes.
Gregorian calendar does it beginning of the year in January 1st. So that's like where the year starts. So people who were slow to get the news or failed to recognize that the start of the year moved to January 1st and they continued to celebrate the New Year's the last week of March or early April, then became dubbed April Fools.
Oh.
And they were the butt of jokes and hoaxes
Gotcha.
for that. These pranks included having paper fish placed on their backs and being referred to as poisson d'avril, which is April fish.
Do you remember when people used to put "kick me" on the
That's
back of
coming,
people?
girl. That is coming. There's a reason for that.
What a crazy thing to put on someone's back. And
I
then
know.
people go, okay, you obviously want this.
That's consent enough for me.
This seems like a request. I will oblige.
Say less. I've been waiting to kick your ass. This is said to symbolize a young, easily caught fish and thus a gullible person.
Gotcha.
But also,
It's an easily caught fish.
it's a poisson gullible. There's also, it could come from the festival Hilaria,
Okay.
which is from ancient Rome.
Okay.
Where Saturnalia comes from.
Yes.
Yes. Historians have linked April Fools to festivals such as Hilaria, which is Latin for joyful. Although I will say I'm a little confused because I looked into Hilaria a little bit, wanted to do a deep dive, and it was concerning.
Oh no.
Because
Saturnalia was like winter solstice, so it was
Yes.
Hilaria the spring solstice. Is that what they were
Yes.
saying?
Essentially,
Or the equinox?
Hilaria in Roman religion. This is straight from Britannica.
Okay.
A day of merriment and rejoicing in the Cybele Atticus cult and then the Iris Osiris cult, March 25th and November 3rd, respectively. It was one of several days in the festival of Cybele that honored Attis, her son and lover.
Oh.
March 15th, his finding among the reeds on the bank of River Gallus. March 22nd, his self-mutilation. March 24th, fasting and mourning his death. And March 25th, Hilaria, which is rejoicing at his resurrection. All of that a little strange to me that it would be so joyful when all of that sounds horrendous.
All of that sounds terrible.
Yeah. So anyway,
But I mean, it kind of mirrors Easter in a way.
it does mirror Easter. Son and lover. Upsetting.
It's the Son, the
What do
Lover,
we
and the
say?
Holy Spirit.
Everything you do is rooted in ancient Roman witchcraft. That's what I've been saying.
in incest, bro.
Apparently. That's why we were going to do, eventually we will, probably not this next week because I will be on my honeymoon. So the week after that, if you see us next week, next Tuesday, in these same clothes, it's because we're recording that right after this.
Just shut up about it.
Shut the fuck up. But after that, we're going to do a little bit of Greek mythology things.
Yes.
Because
I'm obsessed with Epic the Musical.
yes.
Which is just a concept album that was put out, and then clips of it are going viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
Specifically about Calypso.
Yes. So we will be talking about that. But it was just a lot to do back
Yeah.
to back. And I was like, I feel like we need a break
Yeah.
in between the two. Because
I didn't know
again,
there was so much Roman history attached to April Fools.
Greek mythology. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Greek mythology, Roman mythology, all of it's kind of problematic.
Yes.
None of it's PC.
No.
I'll tell you that. There's also speculation that April Fool's Day was tied to the vernal equinox, or the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere, when Mother Nature fooled people with the changing, unpredictable weather.
Aha.
Makes sense as an Ohioan.
Yes.
I get that. It has been 70 and sunny and then 40 and fucking snowing.
Yes.
Like every other day.
We have a plow attachment and a salt spreader attachment on our side by side.
Yeah.
And Brady was going to take them off recently, and I was like, "Don't,
You
we're in
can't.
full spring.
Yes.
We are. That's what they call it, is Fool's Spring.
Spring.
If you believe that in March
Yep.
that
You start getting a
winter's
couple
over,
good weeks. We're going to get one more snow.
we'll get hit.
Yep. We
I hope
always
we're
do.
wrong. I hope we're wrong.
Me too. God damn it.
I'm saying it right now. We're wrong.
Please.
Global warming be with me,
Please.
but not too with me. Not too with me,
And
okay?
also with you.
And also with my son and my lover and my Holy Spirit.
Amen. April Fool's Day then spreads throughout Britain during the 18th century, okay? So in Scotland, the tradition became a 2-day event. 2-day event. They can't get enough.
I can't get enough
Those
of my foolery.
Scots. It starts with hunting the gawk. Gawk? G-O-W-K. I'm going to say gawk. The gawk 3000. In which people were sent on phony errands that they didn't know were phony, because gawk is a word for the cuckoo bird, which is not real.
Well, that's like in Up.
Yeah, so
Because
I've
he-
never seen that movie.
So in Up, the old man, he's trying to tell this little kid who is trying to get like a explorer patch.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you gotta find this snipe. And he's like, here, snipey, snipey, snipe.
It's not even
And
real.
snipe's not a real. Well, is it? I don't know. I don't want to make any spoilers.
Don't tell me.
I'm not.
But I won't. So this is, the cuckoo bird is also the symbol for fool.
Interesting.
And that's followed by Tally Day, which involved pranks played on people's derrieres, such as pinning fake tails or kick me signs on them. That's where it originated. The Scots in Scotland.
Interesting.
They love to be kicked and to kick.
They're in skirts. They've got so much range of motion.
That's a fact.
Those kilts, really.
God damn it.
Yeah.
And honestly, let's see. I'm pretty sure that's kind of it for it.
Interesting.
There's not a lot because it's all basically speculation.
Yeah.
Nobody really understands where.
Did I
where
tell
it all
you
comes
I
from.
had like a long game April Fool's joke with my students one year? I prepped for this weeks in advance.
Okay.
I was taking my students on what I would do is I would take them on a work rotation, and we would go out and work in the community Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, we would have class in the classroom.
Yes.
And during that, we would work on employability skills. We would kind of work on their resumes, do all of that soft skills kind of thing. So while they were working at the hospital in different locations of the hospital, I created a vocabulary list of not real words. And
that's fun.
I would go up to them and I would be like, hey, did you put that Flugenheim away? And they'd be like, what? And I was like, the Flugenheim. And they're like, oh, fuck, no, I didn't. I'm not sure about that. And so anyway, I was like, you guys are really struggling at the hospital because you don't know this terminology. We need to learn this terminology. So we really worked hard on it. And then I gave them a test over these words. And once I got to like the third word, I couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And so then I just told them it was all a joke.
See, that's fun. I like pranks when they're harmless and they don't hurt people or like have lasting effects.
Yeah.
These are some good ones that I feel like are funny and silly in that way. This was one of potentially the first televised April Fool's Day hoaxes. The BBC aired a segment in 1957 that featured spaghetti growing trees in Switzerland. So essentially what happened was the broadcast claimed that the dreaded spaghetti weevil had been eradicated. And this led to a bumper crop of spaghetti trees.
Oh, so the thing that used to eat the trees is gone. And so now the
spaghetti trees are growing rampant.
Yes.
And the BBC even aired clips of people harvesting spaghetti that they just threw on these trees, wet noodles. CNN later called it undoubtedly the biggest hoax that any reputable news establishment ever pulled because people at that time, people in the UK weren't eating spaghetti like that. So
we don't fuck with spaghetti like that.
They really didn't understand that they were trying to call in to be like, where can I buy a spaghetti? You know, I really need one.
You know how last week we were talking about who was in the room to greenlight some of these things that happen on these reality shows?
Yep.
I would be in that room.
I would
greenlight that segment.
100%. Also in 1985, Sports Illustrated writer George Plimpton tricked many readers when he ran a made-up article about a rookie pitcher named Sid Finch who could throw a fastball over 168 miles an hour.
Jesus Christ.
These are just so silly
Fast
to
as
me.
fuck, boy. Trying that.
Oh, okay, wait.
I remember I got engaged one time on April Fool's Day, and it was just pretend. It was me and the person I was dating just wrote that we were engaged on Facebook. Like we just the status changed.
Yeah.
And his mother was fucking fuming.
Really?
She was pissed. Our phone started flooding with congratulations and like wanting to see a ring, and obviously I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And his mom was furious. And so she called us and is yelling at him, and he keeps saying, "Mom, what day is it? What day is it?" And she kept going, "It's Tuesday. What the fuck does that matter?" And he's like, "What day is it?" And she was too mad to stop and realize it was an April Fool's joke. So don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that for sure.
That's
not a fun one.
Other for real thing.
Don't do a pregnancy announcement.
Don't do it.
Please don't ever.
Yeah.
For real.
It's not funny.
It's really not funny.
Yeah.
At all. And also it's lazy, guys.
Yeah.
Lazy comedy. Do better. Like this. The BBC was back at it again in 1965 when it interviewed a professor who had invented smell-o-vision, a new technology that allowed for the transmission of aromas through a television screen.
Hey, no one needs that.
Not here, that's for sure. Following a demonstration, numerous viewers called the BBC to confirm that they had detected scents during Wait, this one is one of my favorites. Are you ready? In 1996, Taco Bell announced that it had purchased the Liberty Bell, and they renamed it the Taco Liberty Bell. The restaurant chain claimed that the acquisition was to help with the U.S. debt. The Liberty Bell is actually owned by the city of Philadelphia through the National Park Service, though the National Park Service maintains it. The news upset many Americans, and the NPS was forced to hold a press conference that refuted Taco Bell's claim.
They were like, this
is not
I
us.
don't know that man.
Not at all.
Taco Bell doesn't own me. Not anymore.
This one is one of my favorites, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This prank was in 1992. NPR declared that Richard Nixon, who had just resigned as president in 1974 amid the Watergate scandal, was entering that year's presidential race. The radio network said that his slogan was, "I never did anything wrong and I won't do it again." I like that one a lot.
You know what? Like, this just popped into my head. I see a bunch of, I'm obsessed with Keke Palmer. And so like a lot of her shit comes up. And one of it is like Keke Palmer's best moments. And one of them is she's doing the one interview where they do like the Google search questions.
Yeah.
And one of them is Keke Palmer dead?
Yeah.
And she reads it and she goes, is Keke Palmer... They thought I was dead. And then she goes, you remember? I remember the first time I got killed on Twitter. And she was like, you remember that? And so there were so many people getting killed on Twitter that were still very much alive.
That's also not just a public service announcement. That's also not a funny joke to play. So-and-so died, a celebrity died. I see that a lot on, and then it's like April Fool.
It's so weird.
What? Don't do that. Don't bring anyone into the world jokingly. Don't
kill anyone jokingly.
Please.
Yeah.
In 1998, after Burger King advertised the left-handed Whopper, scores of clueless customers requested the fake sandwich. The left-handed Whopper. Then also, Google is really notorious for their April Fool's pranks.
Yeah.
That's included everything from telepathic search to the ability to play Pac-Man on Google Maps. And they had done so many that they actually had to make a public service announcement because they accidentally launched Gmail on April 1st, 2004. And they had to be like,
yes.
This isn't a joke. This is real.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Because people were like, we're not falling for that shit, Google. And they're like, no, please.
No, I'm so serious.
We just invested so much in this.
There was another one I saw that YouTube did one time where they flipped a bunch of like videos, inverted them.
Yes.
And then when you would pop onto YouTube, it would pop up like best tips to view our new platform. And it included hanging your computer monitor upside down. Those are just so silly.
I used to go to different coworkers' rooms when I was teaching, and I would flip their PCs. Like the screen, I would just like make it. I would change the rotation of the screen. So like,
that's
the
good.
monitor itself was still stationary, but what was on the screen was inverted.
Yeah, that's good.
So then they would have to do the opposite in order to get it back, and it was really confusing.
That is confusing. I hate when that happens. Yeah. Also, this is a picture of the spaghetti trees. Just in case you wanted to know.
Well, it's easier to like fool people with shit back then because the quality was so ass.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But now we have AI, so you can also fool them because the quality is too good.
Yeah.
Just don't look too close at their fingers or feet.
Or their eyes. Their eyes always give it away for me because one's just slightly over here.
That's true.
And they're really dark.
Yeah. Well, look at mine. You just
described
both
No.
features.
Yours look real, though, because they are real.
Are they? I don't know.
We'll find out. I've been alone on this couch.
In France, according to Le Parisien, in 1986, the Eiffel Tower they were told, was going to be dismantled and rebuilt inside the new Euro Disney park. People were very upset about that.
I'm sure.
In Denmark in 1965, a Copenhagen newspaper reported that Parliament had passed a law that all dogs be painted white to improve road safety because they could be then seen clearly at night.
Fair. I had a thought the other day. I was like, what if Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco only like created this entire relationship and proposal to promote their new album, and then on April Fool's they're like, we're
It's all
actually
fake.
just friends.
That's
imagine?
fucked up. Have we ever seen them kiss?
Yes.
Okay, I
But
actually
it
don't.
was in a music video. I don't know that I've seen them kiss outside of a music video, but I did watch them on a podcast. And there was a moment where Selena's talking and Benny, God bless him. I do love Benny Blanco. I hope that it's real. I hope they last forever. I hope they have the happiest life together. But the camera's tight on Selena, and then it comes out to be both Selena and Benny, and he's yawning, but he doesn't want, this just triggered my memory because I just did this. He doesn't want to look like he's yawning, so he does it with his mouth closed.
Yep,
but you can't hide this. And I did take a screen recording of it.
I did that the other day at my hair appointment. She was like, "You can yawn, girl. It's cool. You looking comfy." I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
You just try and swallow it.
I'm like, "Don't worry about that." And not at all.
I don't know the way I talk about it. I want to do it.
In Norway in 1987, after reading that the government was planning to distribute 10,000 liters of wine confiscated from smugglers, hundreds of citizens turned up carrying empty bottles and buckets to take the wine.
Oh my God.
In China, claiming that it would reduce the need for foreign experts, the China Youth Daily joked in 1993 that the government had decided to exempt PhDs from the nation's one-child per family policy. After foreign press picked up on the hoax, the government condemned April Fool's Day as a Western tradition. So they condemned it.
Well, that's kind of a scary thing to say, though, like, because
They're like, that's not a joke. That's so funny.
Don't encourage people to have more kids than we can handle.
That's scary.
Because then what happens to those kids?
Well, I don't know. I'm not going to speak on that because I don't know. But
isn't there in China like?
I'm not going to speak on it. I will be told that I'm wrong, and so in no way am I going to speak on it.
I thought that's what
at
it
all.
was saying.
I think so.
And that's why China condemned it. Is that what it says?
It says,
or did my brain just do the go away thing and try and fill in blanks?
It joked in 1993 that the government had decided to exempt PhDs from the nation's one child per family policy.
Yeah, so people with doctorates, right?
Yes.
So who made that joke?
The China Youth Daily.
So one of
a newspaper
there.
Yeah.
Said if you're
a doctor. And the foreign press picked up the hoax and reported it to people who didn't know it was a joke.
Yes.
And so then the government condemned it because they were like,
well, that's what I'm saying is
people don't get that we're joking.
That's a scary thing to do if the Chinese government wasn't the one making the joke.
Exactly. Right.
That's scary.
But they knew it was a joke.
The Chinese government did?
The people did. It was outside people that didn't know that took it in. Foreign.
Gotcha.
Is what I'm reading.
Gotcha.
In Great Britain.
I'm just thinking, what if they didn't know it was a joke and they're like, well, I'm a doctor. I guess let's have another baby.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
In 1980, those serial pranksters in the at the BBC, Great Britain, were back.
Yep.
This is one of my favorites again.
I can't hear you say BBC over and over again without my brain doing the thing it shouldn't do.
Yeah. Announced that Big Ben, London's historic clock tower, would undergo
Big Ben clock
would undergo a facelift and become digital to keep up with the times, and also so that foreigners that came over would be able to read it well. They said they were going to call it Digital Dave. And people were furious.
I'm sure.
They were very upset about that.
What day is it, Mom? I don't give a fuck. Digital Dave will never take Big Ben's place.
Never. In Canada in 2008, WestJet Airlines advertised its overhead cabin bins as among the most spacious of any airline and said it would charge passengers an extra $12 to use these sleeper cabins.
The way I'd pay for that?
Yeah, I would be like, I will sleep up there. I've seen you try to stretch out on a plane. I feel like you really would.
I would.
In Germany in 2009, BMW ran an ad promoting its new magnetic tow technology. The invention enabled drivers to turn off their engine and get a free ride by locking onto the car ahead of them via magnetic beam. Obviously a joke.
I'm going where they're going.
So this says, this is a couple of these are some change that did it. I think I read most of them already. There's the YouTube one, but the Google one said it once insisted it was launching a broadband service using cables that would run through the sewer system. I just thought that was funny.
That is funny.
That's really all I have for most of the jokes. But do you
it.
have any that you really are fond of outside of the water hose one?
Outside of the water hose and the...
remember if somebody did one to me that was really funny. One time my son thought he was playing a fun prank on me and he was like, come here, Mom, I have something for you, and put a live bug in my hand. That wasn't fun. That wasn't fun for anyone.
I don't think that's funny at all.
He was like, April Fools. I was like, why would you do this to Mommy?
Oh my God.
But it is fun when kids start getting in on the fun of it.
I know that when I was like following a lot of photographers, I know that there was a photographer who puts out presets, and I buy the majority of his presets, and like I was excited, and then they launched a preset and it was terrible. It like made the picture look like absolute ass. But it was like a free digital download, so they didn't make people pay for it. But I thought it was really funny that like
that's hilarious
that they had made this big thing about a preset for people, and then it's ruined all their
fake.
photos.
God, love it.
I wonder if there's like common ones.
Well, I know that the most common that I saw was like making things that are different tasting. So like you make pastries, but instead of whipped cream, you put sour cream in them.
Oh, yes.
Swapping anything sugary with salt instead.
Oh my God, that would be horrible.
Yeah. I don't know that I would fuck with those heavy. I don't like that. Don't mess with my senses.
Don't mess with my senses.
I had someone do that before. I had a iced tea, and when I got up, it was at a Chinese buffet, and when I got up, they took the soy sauce that was on the table and dumped it in my tea. That wasn't very funny, because then you couldn't see the color, but I took a sip of it and it was so horrific, because I took a big gulp and I was like, why would you do that to me?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This wasn't a prank that was an April Fool's Day prank, but one time in college, my friend removed all of the marshmallows from my Lucky's and my Lucky Charms.
That's
cereal.
Good.
I was like, who wants just the dry cereal?
Hang on, the amount of fucking effort that had to have taken. Did you get them back?
I walked to his room and I was like, you motherfucker. He had like a whole bag of just marshmallows that he'd taken from me.
The way that means that he had his fingers all in your cereal. I'm sick.
I know.
That's foul.
You know who it was?
Who?
Chase.
Was it?
Yeah.
That feels like a very Chase thing to do.
Yes.
I am really excited because, not really excited, but I'm going to be in California during April Fool's, but not flying. And I felt like that was good because I'm flying the day before. I didn't want to be flying today, April Fool's.
Have you seen, it's not an April Fool's joke, but it's a prank. Have you seen the FaceTime prank that people do?
No,
where they have like a picture of a guy and they like play it on the screen. They like record it, and when you answer the phone, it looks like you're talking to a complete stranger. So like you if I were to call you, you'd answer it and it would be this guy's face. And
oh, weird.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a prank that people are doing.
I like the prank that people do where they'll call somebody and then they'll be like, what's up? What do you need? And they're like, you call me. What do you I think that was a fun one.
That is a fun one. That's like, harmless.
Yeah. Like you would answer the phone and be like, hello. And it's like, what do you need? You called me.
I don't know. Wait, how much time do you have? How much time?
I need so many things.
Do you remember when pranking videos like with couples was a big thing?
I hate them. I hate them.
That was so
I hate them.
weird.
I hate them.
Especially because like one of them that was popular for some reason was like one partner pretending to be dead.
What?
Like, on the floor.
I never saw
like,
that.
Put ketchup or something. They'd like act like an intruder. Yes.
Those I hate. If Corey ever did that to me, absolutely not.
In my mind, I'm like, who's your audience?
Yeah.
And why are they 7? Like, there's no way this is for an adult audience.
No, not at all. And if you like those videos, why?
Yeah.
It's strange. Now, I did see one that was really funny where this girl painted herself to look like her lamp.
Yes,
And
I
so
like
the husband came up and turned it on, and she just like,
No, I like
that
that.
is funny to me.
No, I like that. I like when they paint themselves to match the
creativity,
curtains.
the wall.
Yeah, when they're just like in there. Yeah, I like that.
That to me, that's creative. That took time. I like that.
Fun. That's I mean, it's gonna
Reminds me of
scare him,
Boy
I guess,
Meets
but
World, when he's in the couch.
yes.
And he sits up and they're like, "How are you? Why are you in there?"
Or whenever they're on their honeymoon and he is
coconut.
one of the coconuts. Yeah.
So good. Speaking of, okay, I have one last one. I forgot this one. It was on one that I had lost, but this one was one of the most audacious pranks of all time. Was the fake eruption of Mount Edgecumbe volcano in Alaska. Edgecumbe? I swear to fuck, that's what it's called. Edgecumbe.
Okay.
Cumby. It's Edge and then Cumbe.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Volcano, it's in Alaska. It was carried out not by a media outlet, but by a local logger named Oliver Porky Bicker. And it was a hoax that was years in the making. So he collected 70 tires, which he stashed away in an airplane hangar, waiting for an April Fool's Day with clear enough skies and the right weather condition to pull off his plan. The day came in 1974, and he used a chartered helicopter to deposit the tires into the volcano's crater. Then he doused them with fuel and set them all on fire, causing thick and ominous plumes of smoke to billow up. So local townsfolk would run into the streets, fearing that the long dormant volcano was active and going to blow.
Oh my God. That is such a scary prank.
Horrifying. While the police and fire service were in on the joke, Bicker had forgotten to inform the Coast Guard.
Oh no. I feel like that's illegal.
They flew over. Well, he had the firefighters. It's Alaska. There's not a lot to do. They were all just looking for some fun. They flew over to inspect the situation, the Coast Guard did, but instead of seeing molten lava, they saw the old tires ablaze, surrounded by giant spray-painted letters that read, "April Fools."
This man got into a volcano.
No, he took the helicopter. He dropped him down.
Yeah, but how'd he spray paint April Fools?
Oh, that's a great question. He got in there.
He would have had to get
The man went into that volcano.
And at that point, you've earned it, brother.
I think so. I
Joke's
think
on
so.
all of us.
I think if you're going to do a prank that's horrifying like that, you should put in that amount of effort. I respect it a little bit.
Well, yeah.
That is sad for those townsfolk, but what a laugh they had afterwards when they realized they were fine.
He dropped him down with a helicopter?
I think that's what it sounded like it said.
Oh my God. Imagine he just walks up. He doesn't even have a helicopter. He just rolls it up the, fucking thing.
All the fucking tires. What? 70 tires he had.
Oh my God.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. So do your best, everyone.
Commit to the bit. If the bit's going to be horrendous, you better commit to it.
If the bit is an explosive volcano.
If the bit is pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics. Or what's the negative version of that? Arson. If the bit is arson.
Yeah, commit to the bit. If the bit's arson, you better commit. Make sure nobody's going to get hurt. We don't want people to be hurt. We don't want marriages to be weird
is all
involved in this couple pranking thing. You're weird.
By the way, this is all a joke. We don't want anyone to commit arson. For legal purposes, this is all a joke.
Definitely don't do that. I'm saying that firmly now.
Yeah.
I don't encourage that.
I know we said commit to the bit if the bit is arson, but also the bit to us is a joke.
That's all a joke.
The bit to us is being silly, and that
You can commit
silly.
to
Yeah.
on this day of all days where the fools are April.
and the Aprils are fools. All right, everybody.
Guys, go to patreon.com/ladiesandtangents just to do it, just to have at us.
Yeah.
Somebody asked and they were like, hey, If I'm a fuckable bunny, I never got back to you, by the way. So if this is you, sorry. I think I read your email, never responded. Apologies. They asked if fuckable bunny meant all of the backlog. Yes. If you're a fuckable bunny, which is the $10 tier, you get all of the backlog.
Yep.
And then $5, you get half and one every month. $10, 2 every month, plus the whole backlog. And then if you are in the $25 tier, the first one, Goose Pimps.
Yep.
You get all of those things plus 2 lives, plus merch once every 3 months.
Yep.
A mug, a t-shirt,
tote
a
bag,
tote
and a
bag,
sweatshirt.
and a sweatshirt. And then if you are, that's only for a year. And once you get the sweatshirt, you're done. So you can go ahead and re-up if you want in the next tier. And in that one, if you pay that monthly, you get entered to win a cameo from us. We pick 20 people every month.
And that's been kind of fun.
Really fun.
So
Really, really fun. We've been having a really fun time with the cameos because
Yes.
they've all been kind of silly, or, you know, some people ask for advice, some people ask for a birthday shout out, but all of them have been different and silly and fun. So we're having a good time with it. So do that. And we just had someone, which I thought this was a really beautiful idea if you're thinking of this as well.
Oh, yes.
Gift it for her. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to tell her. Well, you're not going to know who it is. I won't tell names.
You gotta hope.
It's going to be for a friend of hers.
On a very special day
on
in
a
the future.
very special day that she can watch in the morning.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a beautiful gift. She
Yes.
won and she wanted to gift it to a friend. So
Yes.
anyways,
Yeah.
that's all. Just had to do a little self promo before I leave.
As you should. You know what? Thanks, everybody. Happy April Fools.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging out. And we love you so much. We'll see you next time.
All right.
We're out.
Goodbye.